everybody, it's me, Margaret, and I was so excited to try out my new camera that I got this week. But alas, can you hear the dog barking across the lake? I don't think it's a new dog. I don't understand what he's barking at. I cannot figure it out. So I don't think I can sit out here and do this. You can even hear him in the house, and you can hear him if I go outside in the front. So, okay, so I'm gonna sit just inside that door where I normally sit, right out there, because the lighting is so good from this angle. At least I think it is. I got a new camera. It's an upgrade from my old really good camera that I had before. It's actually a Canon PowerShot. It's not a DSLR, but my word, this thing can do so many things. But the number one thing it can do is it has one of those flip out LCD screens, so I can actually tell if I'm in the frame or not. Which lately I've been having a really hard time trying to guess that, where to put it. But I have some stuff to show you. I finished this. Da-da-da. This was the Trillian scarf. It took me a while to do. I was here, let's see, I was here last time. So I did all these rows from here up to here. They get longer with each row because you increase. And I finished it. I would model it for you, but I'd mess up the microphone. And that's another great thing about my new camera, is that it actually has a microphone jack. So that helps a lot. I have lots of noises in my world, whether it's the heater coming on right there, or I don't know, I just hear it when I'm editing and it drives me crazy. So what else have I gotten done this week? This has been a week of basic hats. Now I'm trying to use up my scraps, so I made another little baby hat, and didn't do so hot on this. Can you see how they're uneven? Well, duh, because I used two different weights and it didn't come out well. I have not tried washing and blocking this yet to see if I can make an improvement on that. But if it doesn't improve, this is not going to anyone because I feel really guilty about that. That looks bad. Then I had more of this. This yarn is the kind that just never seems to want to run out. And what it is actually is a Big Lots yarn. I think it was $2 for 100 grams. And I really, really like it. It's soft and squishy, but this is the same as a basic hat. It's just crocheted. I did basic, I think it's half double crochet. Yeah, I did half double crochet, and then I did half double crochet front and back posts. Am I showing you the back? Yeah, I was showing you the back where the join was. Half double crochet front and back posts down here. And it's a child's hat. Another thing I've been doing this week is cleaning and organizing my yarn storage area. In this house, I have a great place to store yarn because they're cabinets where I can hide it all and keep it clean. The problem is that I don't feel compelled to keep it neat and organized since I can close it up in there. It's not very efficient of me, and I forget what I have. Now, I'm not going to give you a tour of the finished yarn organization because it's really no different than when I showed you a year ago. I basically sort mine by type, brand, and then within each type, I sort by color. So I had all my acrylics over on one side and bulky on another side. Anyway, it's all the same as I had showed you about a year ago, but it was just nice to go through it and get it organized again and take a tour of it. And I also kept my gift yarn separate, my British yarn and all. I have to be very brave. I don't know if you feel this way, but when we get something new, it's like you don't want to use it up. So you just kind of hang on to it, and because once you use it, it'll be gone. So that's how I've been with my gift yarn, and I really need to stop that. Now, the really good thing about going through your yarn and reorganizing is it's almost like going to a store and shopping, and you kind of get inspired by some yarn. You look at it and say, oh, I have to have that. I have to have that. I want to work with that. Well, you bought the yarn because you liked it in the first place. So if you go up there and sort of shop your own stash, it's actually kind of fun. And that's what I did for my next project. Now, when I was cleaning out upstairs, I found this yarn. and it's really pretty. And I remember getting it from Big Lots, and they just call it mixed fiber. But it surely feels like it has some wool in it, but I don't know. So I'm fixed to do the burn test, which I understand can tell us what it is. Supposedly, natural fibers will burn, and then man-made fibers will melt. So it does appear to be melting, so that means it's acrylic, right? It has lots of strands. I wonder if they're individually different. Okay, that appears to be acrylic. And that burns, so that is wool that I was feeling. This feels like some thin acrylic. I don't know, can't tell. Oh well, interesting. This is just a basic knit hat, 2x2 ribbing, slouchy.
Now here I rattled on and on about discovering the Big Lots yarn in the cabinet, But didn't it work up really pretty? I like the way the color changes gradual, yet there's that ivory color that runs constant through the whole thing. So I chose a really simple pattern to use with this yarn because I didn't want a cable or anything like that to get hidden in the pattern.
I also realized I had a lot of scraps left, so I knocked out 3 little balls of scraps with this little hat, and this is that super bulky scrap hat. I've done a tutorial on this before. Apparently, these are a really big hit at my donation center. They love the different colors that go in these hats, so I'll put a link in the description box in case you want to knock some out for donations. They're warm too, it's very practical, but they love all the busy colors in there, so who knew? Have I ever showed y'all my Mickey Mouse tea infuser? I gave Maggie a Death Star one for Christmas. I went and got this computer so that I could look up a few issues here. Now, I've mentioned before that I am not a big Facebooker, and I give you a lot of ways that you can contact me in the description box below, and Facebook is not one of them. But I have found that people, let's see how this works. If I am not friends with you on Facebook, if you send me a message, I don't have notifications on that. It won't let me know. So I have to physically go in on the computer because I can't figure out how to do that on my phone, which is, again, Facebook's interface is so frustrating to me. That's why I can't stand it. But Melissa Sutcliffe had written a message to me on YouTube saying that she sent me some pictures of her an Addy table that she created very inexpensively, and they're great pictures. But she said, I sent them to you through Facebook. So, of course, I'm going, oh, gosh, now I got to remember how to get back to it. I don't have my screen capture software on this computer, so I can't walk you through that. But basically, you go to Facebook, and then you go to Messages, and then you have to go over to this place where it says More, and then you go to where it says Filtered, and those messages pop up. Well, lo and behold, the last time I did that was, I think it was before Christmas, and I discovered all these things, along with a lot of a few creepy things that kind of freaked me out. I'll try to insert those pictures of Melissa's table right somewhere in here so you can see those.
My main computer is in the shop right now, so I don't have all my normal editing software, but didn't Melissa do a great job with this? Look, a little needle holder. I love the bags on the side. Smart thinking.
But I also got a message from Yolanda Oliver It was Londy's handmade crochet, and it was about the chicken and dumplings recipe, and she ended up sending it to me on YouTube, which of course I got, and I appreciate that, Londy, so thank you, or Yolanda, or whichever name you prefer. And then I got a message from Linda Smith. Now, she also wrote me on my blog about this, and Linda, I answered you just by giving you all my tutorials, but she needed to know. She says, I'm making hats, Addie hats, for her grandkids, and the hats are fine around the heads, but too tall for them. Can you point me in the right direction to find that video where you make a poofy top? And I can't figure out what she's talking about, poofy top. But Linda, if they're too long, then just make fewer rows and just make a shorter hat. So if you're making the reversible hat, and you are doing, say, I don't know, if you don't want a cuff, it's about 100 rows, roughly. Shorten it, make it 90 rows and see what you get. Remember, if it doesn't come out right, you can always rip it out and save that yarn and do it again. I feel like Addie is kind of a no-lose situation. It's win-win because it's just so much faster. You know, you really haven't invested that much if it doesn't work out. So that would be about my solution because I'm a little unclear. I don't know what you're talking about, the poofy top hat. But anyhow, and then Judy Crispin just sent me a real sweet note. So hey Judy, thank you for that note. And then Diane Riley also made herself an Addie table by taking what she called a cheap snack table. I guess that's a TV table, what we call TV table. She cut a hole in the middle and she duct taped around the edges. So that's pretty clever. And then I got a sweet message from Sherry Walker. And Cindy Tripp sent something saying, hi, is there a third Addie? You know, you have the small Addie Professional, you have the large, the Addie King size. And she said, I'm not finding it anywhere, just people are talking about it. Have you seen it advertised? No, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it either, so I don't know. So if you find it, let me know. And a sweet note from Donna Lena's, and then a creepy note from a strange man. And they're going even farther back, so I'll stop right there. But I'm sorry, but I'm just not a Facebooker. So again, check that description box for the best way to contact me. This is leftover pizza from church last night. We host the special needs adults for a movie night once a month. And when I was a little girl, these things that they put in pizza to keep the top from touching were the perfect Barbie tables.
And the pelicans are back for their once-a-year visit to our lake. I'm using my camera. It has this huge zoom, and I couldn't keep it still enough, but that's the other side of the lake from my patio. That's a huge zoom.
Okay, this is a video from last week, and because I don't have my screen capturing software, I'm filming it from this camera. But I want to talk about this poll feature. Some people seem to be confused, so I want to make sure that everybody knows what they're looking for when they're looking for a poll. All right, let me back it up a little bit. Do you see these little things up here in the corner? Right up here. That eye right there is what YouTube refers to as a card. If you click that card, you're going to get these little links to other videos that I've shared with you somewhere in the course of my video. Now they're all in order because I have them set to pop up at certain times, like when I'm talking about it, for example. So I had a link to this because I had mentioned it. I had a link to this video because I mentioned it. I was sharing one of my favorite YouTubers, Do It on a Dime, and it's popped up here. And also the poll. See, it's down here at the bottom. So when you're watching the video and you get to this point, okay, so I'll put a question up and I will say, have you bought any yarn in 2016? All right, did you see how that popped up right there in the corner? That's just to let you know. Now that eye it won't necessarily be on the screen all the time, but if you mouse over, the eye will pop up. And when I have these things set to come up, to give you a little message like that, they will come up at the appropriate time and then they'll go away. So if you keep watching, we'll see how it disappeared. Now, even if you're not a regular commenter because you feel uncomfortable, it'll all disappear. But if you mouse over, it'll pop up. But then again, I'm not exact. So when you click on this at any time, all 5 of them, or however many you choose to put, I think I put only 4 here, are going to come up, and you just have this little scroll bar on the side that you can move to see all of them. But here was the poll. Have you bought any yarn in 2016? You know, and I gave you the choices. Now, I know how I can go about seeing the results, but I don't know how viewers can go about seeing the results. Now, here's what I do. This is into the Creator Studio, the cards editing area, and right here I have a spot where I can click to get the results. So here are our results from the little poll. So 77% of the poll takers, which was a total of 145, said yes, no yarn ban for me. And 22% of the poll takers, which amounted to 43, said they were on a strict yarn ban. Well, I never declared myself on an actual yarn ban per se, but I haven't bought any either, and I didn't vote. So I did have a question though. I posted this on Instagram. I said poll update, first 24 hours, and I gave you information that we had found. I said, we've learned that you can change your vote, but you can't vote twice during the same video session. Question, if you watch the video a second time, can you vote a second time? Now, I was not gunning for more views here. What I was trying to say was trying to get somebody to go check it and see, because I wanted to know if the results could be skewed by voting more than once, in other words. So I didn't get that answer. As a matter of fact, I only got 32 likes on that because I know people are like, what? She's trying to get a bunch of views on her video. So we still have unanswered questions. Can the results be skewed if somebody goes in a second time and watches the video? Or does it use, you know, your tracking information to know, you've already voted? I don't know. And then secondly, I need to know, how can you guys see the results? Like, you can see them when you vote, right? You know, like if you were the number 5 voter, you could see the results of those 5 poll takers. But I don't know if there's any way for you to go back in and see the results. So we don't have the answer to that either. But regardless, it was kind of fun, don't you think? So I think it's interesting that we yarn lovers had fewer people, a good number of fewer people on the yarn ban than people who were not. But that doesn't really surprise me, does it you? Now I've got to go figure out how to edit this video and get it up. Cross your fingers. Talk soon. Bye. And now, after hours of listening to that dog bark, it's quiet, and I've already filmed the whole video.
So I ask you, how many turtles can fit on a log? Hey guys, I'm stuck here. Can you give me a boost? Or maybe move over or something? Or, guys, Dad, Buster won't let me up on the log. Son, let your sister on the log. There's plenty of room to share. No way, she never shares with me. Go away. I'm telling Mom. Child tale.